The good news is I'm done. That's the good news. That was quite the adventure. That wasn't part of the plan. I don't typically vlog like this. Oh, this is brutal. Let you guys rope me into this. Up these stairs. On this cruise, we're listening to Abraham Hicks and their teachings on the law of attraction, that we can attract anything we want into our lives with the power of positive thinking. As Abraham says, we can be, do, and have anything we want if we can mentally align with it. In their words, when we have negative experiences of what we don't want, we launch rockets of desire of what we do want. And there will always be contrast. That's what ensures the launching of those new desires. Maybe we can get to a place that Abraham describes where we want something and get it, want something and get it, but that would still admit of moments of dissatisfaction in between. We get this from evolutionary psychology too, where negative, dissatisfied, or fearful thoughts and emotions drive and guide us based on our natural instincts for survival. So is lasting happiness unnatural? Eastern spiritual traditions teach that a lasting happiness is possible. They promise a state of unconditional happiness and imperturbable peace, a freedom from suffering that's part of the cycle of birth and death. It's called enlightenment, God realization, moksha, or nirvana. But is this state of enlightenment even possible? To be unconditionally happy no matter what? Natural selection has programmed us to have emotions that guide us for survival. For example, we're programmed to get angry to show it as a warning to those who may be a future threat. But we don't live in primitive societies anymore, where an expression of anger would serve as a warning shot for all those to see in the small community. So it's no longer as much of a survival benefit. Same with the negative emotion of fear, which can serve as an impulse to avoid dangerous animals or precarious situations in the wild. Transcending those types of emotions wouldn't risk our survival anymore, and instead it would just make us happier. But can that be taken too far? If we get to an enlightened state where we don't identify as a separate and vulnerable self at all, where we don't have any drive to avoid negative feelings and threats, would we have any motivation for preserving ourselves, our families, and our livelihoods? If enlightenment were really possible, would we lose all ambitions? Would we lose all motivation to survive and function in the world? Would we lose all motivation to, at the very least, be productive members of society and raise families? I can see myself just staying in a place like this and living idly and lazily forever. Actually, I can't. Maybe if I were enlightened. I mean, what's the point of pursuing anything if not for happiness? Even something as simple as taking a sip of water, we do it because it makes us happy. To use Donna Hoffman's words, there's a fitness payoff to it. We're programmed to get a dopamine hit for certain actions, for eating certain foods, and for drinking water for survival. Do you see more stairs? Oh God, there is.
No, the thing is we're genuinely almost done.
You said that 10 minutes ago. We're stopping? Oh, thank you. Thank you.
And we only got this much left.
Is that progress?
Yeah, that's progress. So there's no more stairs after that.
We haven't seen anyone come down or up. You're the only one. It's a long way, at least 15 minutes.
I thought you were joking. I need some encouraging words.
Almost there.
Oh, thank you.
Almost there.
Thank you. Why did I follow you guys?
I figured it would be like this, so
You
I don't know
knew?
what you expected.
You knew. Definitely worked for it. Worked for what?
You know, 95% of people took a taxi up.
The smart ones. What kind of 5% are we? You sounded so confident in your proposal to climb this mountain.
Google Maps let me down. It's your company that led me down.
You're right. Okay.
Let's do it.
Okay, let's do it. More steps.
Land.
I don't understand much Italian, but I'm pretty sure that meant you guys are crazy.
I think that's what everyone is thinking as we walk through this place.
Yep.
Only have half a mile left.
That was good. That was good. We made it. We made it. My new friends said, they just told them my age and they're like, wow.
You're not
I feel
41.
sorry.
I don't believe it.
You see? And you made this old guy do that.
41-year-old who is literally 25 in reality, who doesn't age, he's like a vampire.
That's me. Look for the vampire. If I see you guys anywhere in the world, I will not follow next time. See ya. This is our last day of the cruise, visiting all these beautiful places around the Adriatic Sea. Our last stop in Florence, Italy, before going back to Rome for my return flight to LA. Et après, c'est la dernière stop, je crois.
Ouais, en bas,
Ouais,
ça va être
yeah. Yeah.
ça va être la bonne. Ici, c'est pour prendre des photos.
Oui, c'est prendre une photo, oui. We've evolved to pursue and avoid things for survival, and we're incentivized by the feeling of happiness when we get what we want and unhappiness when we don't. There are times when we're supposed to be unhappy. We're supposed to at least be dissatisfied with experiences that threaten us, like that unnecessary strenuous hike that depleted my energy levels. The only natural motive for action may just be to do things that are pleasing. But the non-dual spiritual teacher, Rupert Spira, would contend that even if we realize our true nature of unshakable peace and happiness, we would still be motivated to act as an expression of and celebration of this understanding. My ex would criticize me for not being expressive enough, specifically for not expressing negative emotions like frustration and anger. Maybe I was too stoic for her. Throughout my life, I learned to be less reactive, since I felt that most situations didn't really warrant such strong emotions. But what if I go too far toward this whole enlightenment thing, and never experience the stirring of emotion? Is that as good as giving up on life? Is enlightenment unnatural? After all, evolution has programmed us to sustain ourselves above all else, to serve our own self-interest for survival, for the ultimate goal of spreading our genes into the next generation. As individuals, we're supposed to feel special, and feeling a sense of oneness with everyone else, subduing our desires, being unconditionally happy, seems to go against this. Is it even possible to be ambitious and pursue desires if we're already completely fulfilled? I'm not sure. But getting to a baseline of happiness for no reason seems like a good springboard to further action. Getting happy first and then taking inspired action, as Abraham says. It seems obvious that investing our happiness in ever-changing conditions, experiences, and relationships may be a recipe for constant disappointment. But can we really be happy even when we don't get what we want? Abraham teaches that anything we want is because we think we'll feel good in the having of it. But why not make an end run for it? Why not get to that feeling place first, to get to the feeling place of what we want? The thing is, being happy no matter what may be difficult to do. It may take some reconditioning of old patterns of thoughts and expectations. We have to get to a place where our thoughts and expectations are actually trending in that direction, as Abraham likes to say lately. But that may mean first letting go of our tenacious clinging to the outcomes of our lives. We usually want things from a resistant place of that feeling of lack and limitation. Transcending those feelings of lack and limitation may involve a process of letting go of negative emotions. In his book, Letting Go, David R. Hawkins writes, "As we become more familiar with letting go, it will be noticed that all negative feelings are associated with our basic fear related to survival, and that all feelings are merely survival programs that the mind believes are necessary. The letting go technique undoes the programs progressively. Through that process, the underlying motive behind the feelings becomes more and more apparent. To be surrendered means to have no strong emotion about a thing. It's okay if it happens, and it's okay if it doesn't." But don't we still want strong emotions if they're positive, or if they drive us to get what we want? We experience our impulses and emotions, even extreme ones, for a reason. They serve us. They guide us to survive and pursue experiences that make us happy. Does bypassing all emotion interfere with those natural impulses? And yet the main goal of spiritual and religious practice is to transcend the ego and subdue our worldly pursuit of happiness outside of our true nature. Spiritual traditions try to get us to see through the illusion of a limited self that needs to be sustained and defended. At our core, we are perfect and complete, and there's no risk of not surviving. As Abraham says, there's no such thing as death. Sure, it is a transformation of the physical body into non-physical, but in most religions, there's a continuation of a soul, a consciousness, whether personal or impersonal. Abraham teaches that we are extensions of source energy or infinite intelligence, and getting close to really believing and knowing that perspective can help subdue our suffering and struggle. For me, it's a matter of at least reminding myself of that when not surrounded by beautiful, perfect conditions as I have been the last few days. Like and comment if this resonated with you, and subscribe below to follow me on my journey. See you next time.